Hello friends, and welcome to the weekly moon update. In these videos, we talk about the moon energy for the current week. In this video's case, we are talking about June 30th through July 6th. We have a first quarter moon week because we had our new moon in Cancer last week, so we're currently in the Cancer moon cycle. And our first quarter moon is half lit, 50% lit, on the right side. So when you look up in the sky and you see that the right side of the moon is lit, that means the moon is increasing with light and energy. So we have a lot of energy available to us. We're kind of getting ready for our full Capricorn moon, and the Cancer moon cycle is really kind of a check-in point from where you were in January during Capricorn season. So during Capricorn season, we have a Capricorn new moon with a Cancer full moon. And now here, 6 months later, we have a Cancer new moon with a Capricorn full moon. So the Capricorn full moon is illuminating anything that needs your attention in regards to the plans and intentions and goals that you set back in January at the beginning of the year. So it really is this kind of check-in point to see where you're at with your goals, see where you're at with your life and what's going on this time of year, and how do you want to finish the rest of the year. So our first quarter moon is leading up to that full moon. So the energy of this week feels almost like there's this anticipation. We do have a lot of astrological shifts coming up in July, or like some big ones. One of them is starting at the end of the week. Neptune is going retrograde, which I'm kind of bummed about because Neptune is my ruling planet of my birth chart, and I just really love Neptune energy. We just had a big shift with Neptune moving into Aries. So it seems like when the planets change signs, it kind of like it eases us into the sign and then it'll retrograde back a little bit. I haven't looked too much into the Neptune retrograde yet. I'm not sure if it will actually go back into Pisces for a little bit. But Neptune in retrograde, it can, all retrogrades are meant or give us an opportunity to relearn something that this planet was teaching us. In Neptune's case, it's going to have to do with subconscious energy. So not a lot of the times it's not really on the surface and not really conscious energy. However, Neptune retrograde can make things be a little bit cloudy and confusing. So that's something to look into or be aware of. And it's going to be retrograde until December of this year. So there's it has this kind of like floaty, dreamy kind of energy. And to me, it kind of feels like not really knowing what is real. And I think we've kind of already experienced that with so many huge, big, chaotic things going on in the world globally. And I know I've like heard people say this, and I've said this myself of like, is this even real? Is this real life? Like, is this really happening? So that kind of has the feeling of Neptune retrograde to me, of just like not really knowing what is real and what is not. So in situations like that, I want to focus on the things that can help ground us and center us into like get you in alignment, so that you're seeing things clearly, so that you're understanding things clearly, or using some of the other elements or planets. For example, we're starting off this week with Virgo, so Virgo can help us like really anchor into something, get us grounded and rooted in that earth sign when the moon is in Virgo. But we'll talk about that more. So let's jump into this first quarter moon week. Okay, so our first quarter moon is happening on Wednesday, July 2nd, and it's I guess it's a first quarter moon in Libra, I guess. Yeah. The void of course times are really strange the this week and next week. I haven't really looked too much further than that, but like they're really weird. Again, I'll talk about that in a second, but I guess, yeah, it's the first quarter Libra moon, I guess. So that is happening on Wednesday. So that means Monday and Tuesday, we have a waxing crescent moon. And then after the first quarter moon, Thursday through Sunday, we have a waxing gibbous moon. So the crescent is when the moon is before the first quarter or after the last quarter. And then a gibbous moon is when it's after the first quarter, meaning it's more than 50% lit. So a crescent is smaller than 50%, a gibbous is more than 50%. So the thing I'm most excited about this week is we're starting off the week with Virgo. I was saying that earlier, that like earth energy can help us just like anchor in. One of the things that because we're in this like check-in moon cycle with the Cancer and Capricorn energy, I like to really do like I do a brain dump of all of the things that I need to do. And then I go back to look at, it's basically like a giant to-do list. And then I go back and look at this giant to-do list at the beginning of the year and I compare it and I look like, okay, have I check things off if I've actually done them. And if I like still need to do them, I move them to this new summer checklist. And if I decide that like I don't want to do those things anymore, I just cross them off. And this is a very Virgo thing to do, of like just making your list and checking things off and organizing and prioritizing what it is that you need to do. I like to do this during this moon cycle because Capricorn is talking about those like the like goals that you've set, the things that you want to achieve. But Cancer is reminding you like, hey, have you been regularly practicing self-care? Have you been being kind to yourself? So it helps you like look at your goals realistically and like, do I have enough energy to do this? Do I have enough time to do this? Am I going to get enough time off if I do this thing? So it kind of Cancer and Capricorn kind of keep each other in check. All of the signs do that. They balance each other out because they're opposite energy, but they keep everything balanced. So I really like starting off the week with a Virgo moon because it just helps us get organized for the week, and it helps you prioritize things and think, okay, what do I need to accomplish this week? And when we're talking about the moon and working with the moon, we have a lot of energy available to us this week because the moon is increasing with energy constantly. So we have a lot of energy to get things done. Whereas last week when we were hovering around the dark moon and the Cancer moon, you may not have had a lot of energy. I certainly didn't have a lot of energy last week. I had a lot of things to do, but I had to remind myself to keep taking breaks and checking in with myself. I actually kind of failed on the like, this is one of the things that I'm going to have to personally like get better at. I don't know what the heck happened, but like I didn't have my smoothie prepped, and I found myself in situations where I really needed to like grab something healthy to eat to like maintain my energy and keep going, but I didn't have it, and I also didn't have the energy to make it. So we ate out a lot or got takeout a lot, and like it definitely like ran my energy down because like I mean usually takeout isn't really that healthy or good for you. So I was like, I was run down for a specific reason, but then because I didn't have like things to nourish my body, I was extra run down. Now with this Virgo, with this check-in moon cycle, I need to like get better about prepping before I get to those run down and low energy moments. So I need to remember on a last quarter moon week to make sure that I am like meal prepping and have things ready and available for those low moments. Okay, so we move into Libra at 5:17 p.m. Tuesday evening, and then this is where it gets weird. So it's we're in Libra for Tuesday evening and most of Wednesday as well. And then the moon starts to enters void of course, starts to transition into Scorpio. It's a super long transition. So all day Wednesday, all day Thursday. This is like the longest transition I've ever seen. And then we won't move into Scorpio until 5:33 a.m. Friday. So I was laughing when I when I wrote these void of course times down because there is a community member. I'm not going to call them out, but there's a community member who doesn't like air signs, has a stressful time during air signs. But dude, you only have it's barely a day. It's not even a day. You only have 10 hours of Libra time before the moon starts to shift. And then there's this super long void of course time, over 24 hours, like 30 something hours. And then look, what the hell? Why do I get so I'm the one who Scorpio days, I don't do well on Scorpio days. And we got our regular 2.5 days with Scorpio. But you guys who don't like air signs, you only get like 12 hours with an air sign. What the heck? So I like Libra energy, especially because it comes right after Virgo. So Virgo, like I said, is very organized and getting those to-do lists, but it's also very like focused and isolated on things. And when you're only focusing and putting all of your energy into one thing, oftentimes things get neglected. So when Libra comes in, it gives you this opportunity to like look at those things that have been neglected because they're important too. We can't just only focus on one thing and be so focused and anal retentive on the details. We got to look at the big picture. So Libra kind of helps us broaden our perspective. Air signs are going to give us wisdom and knowledge and clarity. So Libra comes in after Virgo to help us figure out what we need to put energy into, what has been neglected. And it kind of, I don't know, I always see it as like kind of sweeping things under the rug. And then Libra will like then dust out and air out the rug because Virgo is very, very isolated and very focused on like very specific details and specific things. And Libra helps us broaden our perspective again. So, but we're only going to be in this Libra energy from Tuesday evening until Wednesday afternoon, and then the moon is transitioning. So we had a really long void of course time, I think it was last week, and there's very much this like absence of a sign that you, especially with these longer void of course times, you just kind of like, I don't know, it's like, it's not Libra, it's not Scorpio, it's not really either of those things. So it's kind of like this liminal space. So the energy on Thursday might be kind of strange. I think I remember, yeah, because I think it was last Monday, we had the really long void of course time. And then Tuesday, I streamed on Twitch and we were all saying it doesn't feel like Tuesday. And I think it maybe was because Monday was this weird liminal space. So it was kind of like Monday didn't even happen. Shouldn't Tuesday be Monday? It's just really strange energy. So we're moving into Scorpio on Friday at 5:33 a.m. and we'll be in Scorpio energy for most of the weekend. We'll move into Sagittarius Sunday evening around 6:06 p.m. And so we will start off our next week with, oh, sorry, you can't see that, 6:06 p.m. And then we'll start off next week or Monday with Sagittarius energy as well. So there are a couple of things that I want to prepare us for. I talked a lot about the Neptune retrograde already, and that is going to carry us into December. So for the rest of this year, and that might be something to keep in mind because Neptune is going to it's subconscious energy, but it's also like the things that you're dreaming about. So it can have like you might be having like very vivid dreams, but you also want to like keep your dreams in mind when you're setting goals and intentions. If you are using this time of year with the Cancer and Capricorn moon cycle to check in with all of your dreams and goals and ideas, you might want to like make sure that you're like feeling really clear about the things that you're dreaming about. Take those into consideration when you're evaluating your goals. So that's happening on Friday. And this is not happening until Monday. That's kind of hard to read. Uranus is moving into Gemini. I don't even know if I have the energy to talk about it yet, but I mean, we're going to have to talk about it on Monday too. So I think this is going to be a really big shift. Like we've had a couple of other outer planets changing signs this year already. We really felt the Saturn into Aries. We felt Neptune into Aries. Jupiter moved into Cancer a couple weeks ago, where they're just very different energies. So Uranus has currently been in Taurus, which is very much like more grounded. And if you remember, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is our glorious trickster god that like wreaks havoc on our lives when Mercury goes retrograde. So Gemini's the twins. There is this like very playful trickster kind of energy to it. But I think that's going to be emphasized because Uranus is the planet of liberation and freedom. There's this really volatile energy that I think can take place with Uranus and Gemini. And so with all of the chaos going on in the world, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to bring for us collectively, but it's definitely something to be aware of. So let's jump into our oracle cards. The card for this week is very interesting. We have affirmation for acceptance. I haven't read the message, but this card has, or I haven't read it yet. This card has come up a lot and does feel like this anticipation that I'm feeling with, I guess, mostly Uranus changing into Gemini, but also Neptune going retrograde. Remember, Pluto is also retrograde, and then a couple of the other planets are going to go retrograde this month as well. So I don't know. There's just this weird energy with the month of July. So our card is affirmation for acceptance. And as you can see, there's a tornado in the background and she's just flying on her broomstick, reading a book about fate. So there's lots of chaos going on around her. So there is a prayer that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, there are circumstances or realities that we aren't or that we can't alter. Illnesses, broken relationships, lost jobs. There are, unfortunately, plenty of things in our lives that we cannot fix. It can be difficult to keep fighting, but sometimes battling the unchangeable just uses up time and energy that would be better used in more productive ways. Sometimes what we really need is simply the serenity to accept those things that we cannot change and the wisdom to know when it is time to do so. So this card is probably trying to tell you that there is something you need to simply accept. You almost certainly know what it is already, and you just need a little nudge to let go and let Goddess, whatever it is, be kind to yourself and stop fighting. Take a deep breath, admit that there are some battles you can't win, and move on. So the action of this card says, for a practical exercise, make a list. Ooh, that would be a good thing to do on Monday when the moon's in Virgo. On one side, list the things that you don't like about your life that you have some control over and make some concrete plans for how to change them. On the other side, list things about your life that make you unhappy and that you have no control over whatsoever. Give some thought to how much of your energy is going towards being angry and frustrated about those things, and how much time you spend fighting the impossible or just plain complaining. Once you've contemplated it for a while, take that half of the list and rip it into shreds. Then let the tiny pieces of paper go the next time there is a strong wind. And This is a really wonderful Libra exercise too. I know making a list is very Virgo, but Libra, being that air sign, well, this is an air card, and letting things go in the wind is a very kind of like Libra thing to do. And radical acceptance is a very Libra thing to do, because remember, Libra has the scales of justice, and it's all about fairness and balance. Like, if there's nothing that you can do to change something, why are we wasting the energy being frustrated, angry about these things? This card also reminds me about like being, there's another card that comes up a lot about being in the center of the storm, like not getting wrapped up in the tornado or the chaos that is surrounding you, being in the center, in the eye of the storm, and staying grounded and staying centered, and just not letting your energy get wrapped up in the tornado and the chaos. And our chakra card is a throat chakra card. When receptivity, when someone shares their truth with you, listen. Open channels for divine wisdom to flow both towards you and through you. Something or someone seeks your attention right now. Remember that even animal spirit allies can be messengers of wisdom from the higher dimensions. Be open to the messages as they come in whatever form, and ask for clarity if needed as you integrate what you receive. The crystal they recommend is angelite, and the herb is elderberry. So remember too that like when we are in these chaotic moments, we can ask for angels for help and guidance, or our spirit team, or whatever. And the crystal for this week is azurite, a third eye chakra gemstone of psychic mastery, vision, and confidence. It's known as the priestess stone and was prized by Cleopatra, who believed it gave her psychic powers. She also ground it up. See how it's like this really dark blue color? She also ground it up and put it on her eyes along with malachite, which is green. So azurite cleanses the subconscious of emotionally charged thoughts and negative feelings. It transmutes any hidden limiting beliefs that prevent you from walking fully in your power. The affirmation is, my vision is expanding. I am open to possibility. I do have some new azurite here, which I think my other ones are very hard to see. Look how pretty it is. This one looks more like the one in the picture because it's such a dark blue. But so we have lots of blue energy coming up for us this week with the throat chakra and the third eye blue azurite. And I'm also seeing like the blue clear skies behind these dark and stormy ones here. I really do feel like, I don't really know how to word this. Like, I'm recognizing that the things that I'm experiencing in my personal life are reflected into what's going on with the collective. And so I think instead of getting overwhelmed with everything that's going on in the world, which is a lot and it's never ending and there's no escaping it, is to only, I mean, I guess what this card is saying, like only focus on the things that you can control, which are the things that are directly affecting you in your personal life. And we can try not to add to that chaos, because it is really easy to get sucked up into drama and to project the things that you are experiencing onto different situations or to other people, unfortunately. So I think kind of what I have learned over the Cancer new moon is to allow yourself to surrender and retreat if you need to, if you're not feeling your best, if you're not feeling mentally stable, to give yourself the things that you need to come back to yourself, to find that stability, to find that grounding, and to just allow that time and allow that space. No matter how many other things that you need to do, just take it like moment by moment, take it minute by minute if need be, and focus on the things that you can control, which are you and your emotions and your reaction to things. So this is why I follow the moon, because it not only just because like I do find that like I'm so emotional, and my energy does relate to the moon a lot. It also gives me something to focus on. So if I focus on Monday and make sure that I am doing something that relates to Virgo, I usually do feel better. On Tuesday, if I do something that relates to Libra, like learning something or meditating or taking care of something that I've been neglecting, I usually feel so much better energetically, physically, mentally. And these are the things that I can control. So this is what I focus on. And I hope that these videos and I hope that the moon planner helps you to do that for yourself as well. So thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. I needed that smoothie so bad. Now I can drink coffee. How many beverages does one person need? Let's have some water too. Smoothie, coffee, water, check. Ready to go.